fine. It's a belief system. He's allowed to believe it, and people are allowed to vote for it. But if liberals deny it, like he's just going through a goth phase, they're going to lose more elections. This is not a communist country. It turned one of Latin America's richest countries into one of its poorest. Low wages, high inflation, shortages, outages, 8 million people fleeing. If you think New York can somehow reinvent this wheel, you're in for a rude awakening. Zoran can't make your wishes come true. You're thinking of Zoltar.
It's finally happening. Bill Maher is laying bare the real reason the Democratic Party's strategy keeps collapsing. Now, amid the ongoing ICE controversy, you'd expect the DNC's image to surge. Yet, instead, it's plunging fast. Plenty of people are asking why. But Maher claims he knows the truth and it'll genuinely shock you. So tap that subscribe button for bold, unfiltered political commentary, and let's dive right into the heart of it.
Now, let me tell you about the story that liberal algorithms blocked out. Her name is Sia Weaver, and if you ask anyone in the blue sky bubble who that is, they'll look at you like a turkey looking up at the rain. But she's kind of important in New York, being Major Mamdani's chief of the Office to Protect Tenants, and since Mamdani's big issue is the rent's too damn high, yes, he stole this guy's act. It's a very key appointment in the most important city in the country, which is also our financial center. It matters that the mayor stands by, and so I assume stands with, someone who says things like, if you don't believe in the government's sacred right to seize private property, it's over. Seize private property. Home ownership is racist. Elect more communists.
Maher kicks off the expose by zeroing in on what he describes as the DNC's uncomfortable drift toward far-left ideology. He frames it as more than just campaign rhetoric, arguing that some of the party's messaging is being interpreted by voters as leaning toward socialism. Now, some would push back and say that figures like Mamdani don't represent the entire Democratic Party, that it's unfair to paint a national movement with the brush of one outspoken politician. But Maher insists that critics are missing the bigger picture. He argues that New York isn't just another city experimenting with bold policies. It's the financial heartbeat of the United States, a global symbol of American capitalism and economic power. What happens there doesn't stay there. If voters begin to believe that New York is veering towards socialism, Maher warns that perception alone could ripple outward, reshaping how the entire party is viewed across the country.
Private property, especially home ownership, is a weapon of white supremacy. Really? Even among the 20 million black Americans who own their own home? I mean, these are the kind of utterances I might forgive as something a dumb white girl said while she was at Bryn Mawr. Because it's the kind of privilege hating you can only learn for $95,000 a year. But these are statements made as an adult. Yes, for co-eds from elite private colleges, you're only a lesbian until graduation, but the communism lasts a lifetime.
Maher goes on to argue that the Democrat strategy is imploding for a simple but politically explosive reason. Many Americans instinctively recoil at anything that sounds like communism. He says the label alone is enough to trigger alarm bells across the electorate. For a large portion of voters, the word feels abrasive, even threatening, tied to images of government overreach, economic stagnation, and lost freedoms. And whether that perception is fair or exaggerated, Maher suggests it's politically naive to ignore it. He contends that Americans historically and culturally have defined themselves in opposition to centralized economic control. Generations were raised during the Cold War era when communism was portrayed as the ideological enemy. So when rhetoric begins to echo those themes, even loosely, it creates anxiety. Maher argues that dismissing those concerns as ignorance only deepens the divide. In his view, if voters associate democratic messaging with failed socialist experiments of the past, the political fallout is inevitable and self-inflicted.